You ever feel like there's just this non-stop, chaotic conversation happening inside your own head? Well, today we're diving into a clear path to evict those unauthorized thoughts, reclaim your mental real estate, and actually find some genuine inner peace.
So, let's just get right to it with a big question. If you were to look inside your mind right now, what would you see? Is it this spacious, peaceful mansion where you're in complete control? Or, if we're being honest, is it more like a chaotic, crowded apartment, just crammed with noisy, unwanted tenants? Anxiety, old worries, those same repetitive thoughts who refuse to pay rent and just will not leave.
So, these are what we're calling your mind's unauthorized occupants. They're the natural result of a mind that's just running on autopilot. So our very first step is to figure out who they are and, how they took over in the first place. Here's a really great way to picture it. Think of your default mind as a chatty parrot, just sitting on your shoulder, running on autopilot. It just squawks all day, repeating things it's heard, mimicking emotions, and just creating constant, relentless noise. And here's the most important part. That parrot doesn't want a cracker, it doesn't want a solution, it just wants your attention.
This really sets up the core conflict that's happening inside all of us. On one side, you've got the reactive mind. This is our default programming, right? It's running on pure ego, habit, and raw emotion. But on the other side is our potential, the discerning intellect. Now that is the self-aware, logical part of you that can actually observe and choose instead of just reacting. The entire goal here is to learn how to shift from being the parrot to being the master.
So how do we do that? How do we make that big shift? Well, the entire strategy, and I mean all of it, hinges on one single powerful idea: becoming the observer of your own mind. This practice is called observer consciousness, and it is a total game changer. It's the ability to just step back and watch your thoughts and feelings float by, without getting sucked into their drama. You basically stop being the main actor in the play and become a member of the audience. And this highlights a really key difference in how we approach this stuff. The typical Western method is to manage anxiety. We label it, we categorize it, we try to control it. But that kind of implies it's a permanent problem we have to deal with forever. The Eastern approach is radically different. It suggests we just observe the anxiety, recognizing that it's like a temporary mirage in the desert. And what happens when you stare at a mirage long enough? It just dissolves. I love this one. Here's another way to think about it. Your emotional storms are basically a dramatic reality TV show. You can get completely hooked, you can yell at the screen, get totally invested in the drama. Or you can just step back, watch the ridiculousness unfold, and simply choose not to get cast in the next season. Okay, so that's the principle. Now, let's get practical. Let's talk about our first tool. And I want you to think of this one as a powerful spiritual vacuum cleaner for your mind. This tool is a simple daily mantra, something like the Mangalacharan, which is really just a type of positive invocation. So instead of waking up and doom scrolling through negativity, you start your day by actively, consciously introducing a positive thought like, "May there be happiness for all." It literally acts like a vacuum, clearing out all the dust and dirt of anxiety before it has a chance to settle. But, and this is a huge but, there's a catch. Just repeating the words mechanically, without any feeling, that's like dragging a vacuum cleaner around your house with the power off. It looks like you're doing something, but it achieves absolutely nothing. You have to plug it in with sincere intention. You have to really mean it for the cleaning to actually happen. All right, so we've got our vacuum cleaner. Now let's build on that with a more systematic method to really transform your mind. It's a 4-step process, and we call it the RISE framework. The framework is so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. It's recognize, investigate, shift, and embody. RISE. This is your roadmap for moving from that chaotic, reactive state to a calm, discerning mind. So let's break down each step.
First up, R is for recognize and remember. This isn't just a fleeting thought. It's a deep mental acknowledgement that your true nature, your real self, your factory setting, is fundamentally peace and happiness. You start by just remembering this truth, this baseline. And then you just notice, does your mind settle into that? Or does it immediately get hijacked by some silly, repetitive thought?
Next, I is for investigate. Now, when you catch one of those thoughts on repeat, don't fight it. Don't push it away. Instead, just calmly investigate it. Ask it, okay, so what should I do about you? And then, whatever answer pops up, just gently return your focus to a simple, powerful affirmation. Shantoham. It just means, I am peace.
You're redirecting your focus away from the noise and back to your true nature.
Okay, next is S for shift. And to really get this, I want you to picture something. Imagine all your thoughts, your worries, your feelings, they're just birds flying across the sky. They appear on the horizon, they fly by, and then they disappear.
Now here's the crucial part, the big reveal. You are not the birds. You are the sky. You are the vast, unchanging, ever-present awareness in which all those thoughts appear. The birds come and go, but the sky remains completely untouched. The shift is realizing your identity is the sky, not the fleeting birds.
And finally, we have E for embody and engage. This is all about making that peaceful awareness your new home. You consciously settle your mind back into that quiet space of your real self, constantly reinforcing it with Shantoham, I am peace. The goal here is to integrate this state, to bring that peaceful sky into every single moment of your daily life.
So when you put this all together, you're not just learning a trick. You are making a fundamental shift in your relationship with your own mind. You literally go from being a helpless tenant, tossed around by the whims of your thoughts, to becoming the conscious, intentional landlord of your own inner space. To really make this work, it helps to adopt what's called the seeker attitude. This just means you approach your inner world like a scientist, or maybe a detective. You're not judging yourself, you're just curious. Every thought becomes a clue. Every emotional reaction is an interesting experiment. You're simply on a quest for truth.
And please remember this analogy because it's so important. Spiritual growth is like flossing your teeth. You can't just claim you do it, and just going through the motions doesn't work. It's the small, consistent, sincere, daily effort that actually gets the job done.
Look, if there's one single thing you take away from all this, let it be this: you are not destined to be a victim of your mind's endless chatter. You absolutely have the capacity to shift from being controlled by your thoughts to becoming the conscious architect of your own inner world.
Which leaves us with one final question, and this one is just for you to reflect on. Right now, in this moment, which one are you? Are you a seeker, actively using these tools to find the truth of who you really are? Or are you a wanderer, content to just stay lost on autopilot? The choice, as always, is yours.